In this bike check, we're going to take a look at Brendan Fairclough Scott Gambler. He rides for that Scott Gambler program, and we're going to take a look over his bike. It's super nice, and he's one of the fastest and most stylish racers on the circuit. First off, let's take a look at the frame. It's a carbon rear end. You've actually got this adjustment where you can put a long or a short option in to change the wheelbase depending on the track and the conditions. Looking at the linkage, it's actually one of the more complicated ones that you see, and it looks totally different to other bikes on the market. Brendan's actually been trying a slightly different link here just to make it a little bit more progressive. It's running the coil shock from Fox, and it's an aluminium front triangle. The drivetrain is covered by Shimano, so we've got a Saint group set here. You've got your Saint rear derailleur and also your cranks as well. It's got an 8-speed cassette. He's actually got a tie springs shifter, and that just blocks out the top two cassettes, so he doesn't have to use them. Saves a little bit of weight as well. He's actually got an LG1 chain guide, and that's topped off with a set of his signature pedals. So they've got at Brendog 1, Signature, and S4P, which is their group back in Surrey Hills for riding, and it stands for sorry for partying. Crank length is 165mm, quite short compared to the sort of maybe normal that you'd see 170. He's also got a 36 tooth Shimano Saint chainring. Let's come up and take a look at his cockpit and control. So the first thing, he's running these Diety bars. They're actually aluminium and they're 780mm in length. It's also a Diety stem. You've got the option of running in 50 or 55mm, and that's complemented with a whole pile of titanium bolts in different colors. Let's look at his grips. So he's got the Brendan Signature Death Grip. It's quite chunky at the start and then gradually gets narrow. There's a lot of grip there, and you've also got Shimano Saint brakes, both front and rear, and then a Shimano Saint shifter finishing off that drivetrain. Suspension is covered by Fox. So he's got the Fox 40 up front, you've got your low and your high speed compression, you've also got rebound, and it's an air spring fork. On the rear, he's got a Fox DHX2, and that's the coil version. We have actually seen Brendan using the air before, but now maybe with this new linkage, you can actually use the coil spring, and that's going to give him that little bit more sensitivity, and he's got all that adjustment with different springs. So let's take a look at the wheels and also what provides Brendan grip. So his wheels are provided by Synchros. They're actually new to this year for Brendan, and they've got bladed spokes as well. And on the inside of the hubs, I'm actually noticing that he's got his name on them again and that S4P logo. Coming on to the tyres, he's got a Magic Mary on the rear, he's got a Dirty Dan on the front. It's actually cut down, he's got some of the spikes taken off, and it's really neatly done as well. The bike's finished off with a Synchros carbon seat post and also a saddle. It's got carbon rails as well, so saving every ounce of weight. And likewise, there's titanium bolts right throughout the bike, on the brake calipers and also the disc rotors. He's got his name throughout the bike, and it's also got Velo Solutions, Just Add Scott, and all the other team sponsors on it. So we've checked out Brendan's bike, and we've got a couple of questions for him. First one, I'm going to kick off with your signature DMR stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We've got what we did with DMR is I wanted to have all the contact points of the bike. So all the most important things for me are my grips up front, and also the pedals. You know, it's your two most important contact points. Not seat so much. If you find your seat a contact point, you're probably doing something wrong, or your feet have come off the pedals. So we've left that onto Syncross. But yeah, my pedals are just a DMR Volts. My sort of addition, they've got extra pins in the middle. They're slightly sharper in the middle, so it sort of creates a more concave feel for your shoe. Which I think's the best way, and got some amazing grip. And we've got an updated version coming out fairly soon. Nothing too different with the casting and everything. Just a slightly different colour, some different graphics, just smarten it up.
And also your Instagram name's changed as well?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I had a problem with my Instagram. I had one and then I lost my phone, so I lost 16,000 followers, blah blah blah. But now I've got a new one, just Brendog 1.
And of course you're doing downhill races and then things like Redbull Rampage as well. Can you tell us a little bit about bike setup and how it differs between the different events?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's kind of as simple as if I'm doing a free ride or a jumpy sort of thing, I'd probably put an air shock on the back just so I can pump it right up. And downhill events, I'd have the coil shock just 'cause it's more supple at the top and I can get better feel, better for braking, better for real rough stuff. So I'd say as far as bike setup, as far as downhill and what else I do, I don't like to call it free ride, but we'll call it that. Yeah, just change my shock, bought a new one in, jump 70-foot jumps.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So a little bit of change in the bike as well. Can you tell us what feedback you gave to Scott and what you've actually changed and updated?
As far as the back end of the bike, actually we've got a slightly different back end. We've got a new linkage there, which for me was just to make the bike more progressive. When you're hurtling down these hills as fast as you can, and you're hitting stuff not out of control, but you know you're hitting stuff super fast. You need the bike not to blow through all its travel at high speed. So we've gone for a slightly different linkage. It's just more progressive. It just ramps up harder, doesn't get to the end of its stroke as quick, and at the bottom it's really soft, you know. So you can keep, when you're like gliding around like an off-camber turn, you can keep grip at the back, and then when you're hitting something at 40 miles an hour, a big drainage route or something, it's not going to blow through and hit metal on metal. And yeah, also on the race version, we've lightened up the back a little bit, but just grinded out a couple of those welds on the swing arm, so it's all nice and smooth.
Thanks Brendan for letting us check out your bike. If you want to catch some more videos in GMBN, why don't you click on me and you'll get to a full pro bike playlist.
And if you want to learn how to manual through rollers, click on me.
Don't forget to subscribe, click on the globe.